Hello, Debbie here from My Holistic Bliss. So this morning in my Burnout to Bliss online class, so on a Friday I do a 30-minute class called Unwind Friday. We did a full moon themed sequence. So today is the Mayflower full moon. So we honoured that full moon by doing a variation of the salutations, the sun salutations. So instead of sun salutations, we did moon salutations, or Chandra Krama as they are referred to. There are a few different variations of moon salutations. So these ones that I'm going to run through today are from the Ashtanga moon sequence. And the intention is that around a full moon, our energy levels can be slightly up and down, slightly unstable. Our mood can be changeable. So the suggestion is that your practice is a little bit steadier, a bit more gentle, more mindful. So being aware that you may be prone to kind of over exert or overstretch yourself, so you do a slightly more gentle variation. They can be practiced outside of a full moon, so they are a great way to do a variation of a salutation that includes a forward bend, a backward bend, and a hip opening posture, without the need to do things like chaturangas, to spend loads of time on the hands. So they can be a really kind of adaptable variation to get your body moving if you struggle with more traditional sun salutations. So today is the Mayflower full moon, and it is suggested to reach its peak around 6:30 tonight. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a cloudy day today, so we may not, if the clouds continue into tonight, it might not be quite as bright or as visible as normal, but that is the full moon for this month. And traditionally around a full moon, it would be a time of kind of letting go, releasing emotions, releasing behaviours that no longer serve us. And then around the new moon, which is a little bit later in the month, around the 19th, we would set our intentions for the new moon ahead. However, due to the time of year of this full moon, we would start to set our intentions now, because spring is the season of growth and renewal. So before we start to do the moon salutations, I would encourage you to just take a moment to sit in a comfortable position, whether that's on the ground or on a chair. Just relax and soften the shoulders, close your eyes, and just take a moment to think about what kind of habits, behaviours do you want to bring into the spring-summer season. So the Mayflower full moon gets its name because this is the time of year when flowers begin to bloom in abundance. It's a time of year where we tap into the energy of the moon to cultivate a sense of renewal and growth. A great time to make any shifts in habits and behaviours that we want to leave behind. So setting intentions for behaviours that we feel will help support us throughout the spring and summer season, and letting go of the behaviours that won't. So just take a few moments to breathe in deep, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Allow your body to relax with each exhale, releasing any tension, letting go of whatever you might have been doing before you came to do this practice. You could perhaps try to imagine some bright blooming flowers, either visualizing the image of some flowers or colours that you would relate to springtime flowers. Surrounding yourself by their abundance, their beauty, their energy. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and we're releasing breath out through the mouth. And then gently open your eyes. So our moon salutations, we're going to start by bringing ourselves up to a seated kneeling position or hero pose. So you're only going to be here for a little while, and if you do find that sitting the bottom right back towards the heels is uncomfortable for the knees, then pop a blanket or a pillow between the calves and the back of the thighs. So sitting back towards the heels, and just let the hands rest down by your side. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and just gaze straight ahead. So on our inhale breath, we reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then slowly walking or sliding your palms forwards into the child's pose. Widen the knees to create more space for the hips, let the elbows soften, and bring your head and your chest as close to the ground as you feel comfortable. Maybe use a pillow or support if you feel like there's quite a big gap between your body and the ground. Then lifting up into an all fours position. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We go through a few rounds of the cat and cow pose. So inhaling, tilt the head and hips up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling to scoop up and arch the spine. Inhaling to tilt the head and hips up, exhaling to scoop up and arch the spine. Come back to a flat back position, and then very briefly tucking the toes into the ground, lifting into a downward facing dog. If that feels uncomfortable for you, then continue with the cat and cow pose. So if you prefer to stay with the knees down, go with the cat and cow. If you're coming up into downward facing dog, you could always take a little bit of a walk, pedal with the heels just to release out the back of the legs, and just try to relax your head, gazing towards the feet. Lower yourself down towards the ground and lift up to a high kneeling position. So there's our forward bending poses. Now we come into a back bend. So hands either to the sides of the hips or around the back. Squeeze the elbows and the shoulder blades towards each other so you're opening out through the front of the chest, the front of the body. Then very gently encourage the hips to push out to the front. Just being mindful of how that feels in your mid and lower back. If your head feels comfortable doing so, just lift the gaze up towards the ceiling and then gently release and come back to where you started. So I held those poses for a little bit longer. We would normally move through in a slightly more flowing pace. So I'm going to move through a little bit quicker this time. So from this seated hero position, take the inhale breath, reach the arms up. When you're ready to exhale, slide or walk the palms forwards to child's pose. Inhale to all fours and tilt the head and hips up to the cat pose, and exhale to arch. Inhale to flat back. Exhale up into downward facing dog if that feels appropriate, or stay with the cat and cow. And then releasing down, coming back to a kneeling position, lifting up. Take an inhale breath and open out through the chest, push the hips forwards. Exhale, release back down to where you started. So I'm just going to take you through a couple more rounds. If you would like to do a few more, go for it. So we inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale to flat back, tilt the head and hips up. Exhale to arch the spine. Inhale back to that flat back position. Exhale to downward facing dog. Lower yourself down, and when you're ready to inhale, lift and open out through the chest. Send the hips out to the front, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. And exhale, release back down to kneeling. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale to the cat pose. Tilt the head and hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale to arch. Inhale back to that flat back position. Exhale to downward facing dog. When you're ready to exhale, release the knees down. And as you're inhaling, lift up. Draw the elbows and the shoulder blades towards each other, send the hips out, and then exhale, release back to that seated hero pose. So they are moon salutations. Great to practice around a full moon or just any time you need to bend your body forwards, backwards, open out the hips, and kind of do it in quite a gentle, mindful way. Have a great weekend, whatever you are doing, and please do let me know if you're enjoying these bite-sized bliss practices. I'm going to continue them ongoing. Sometimes my aim is to send out through a week, but sometimes depending on what's going on, I might miss the odd time, you know, life and all that. But I aim to get them out as often as possible for you. And they link to what I do, or a very similar kind of format to what I do with my online classes. So on a Monday, it's more geared towards meditation and mindfulness, because that's the day I do my Mindful Monday class. Wednesdays is more towards yang practices, which is when I do my Rise and Shine online, and Fridays is more steered towards a gentler, more kind of yin style of practice, because that's when I do my online Unwind Fridays. If you'd like to find out more about my online classes, then under this video, I have put an update of some of the kind of changes to my online practices, as well as live classes. I do quite a lot of pre-recorded content as well, covering things like mindfulness, meditation, yang yoga, yin yoga, tension release, journaling, intention setting, even some recipes, some popular recipes from retreats and events that I have held over the years. So that's my Burnout to Bliss online program, and you don't have to be burnt out to do it. The intention is to avoid burnout by incorporating realistic, good habit changes to your self-care, to help you avoid being overtired, feeling pain, discomfort in the body, and just get you moving and feeling better. All right, have a great coronation weekend, whatever you are up to. Enjoy the bank holiday, and I will see you next time.